nor put his trust in money, nor in treasures. Who is he, and we will praise him? For you have done wonderful things in his life. Who have been tried thereby and made perfect. You shall have glory everlasting. He that could have transgressed and hath not transgressed. He that could do evil things and hath not done them. Therefore are his goods established in the Lord, and all the church of the saints shall declare his alms. And then the gospel takes that according to St. Luke chapter 12. At that time Jesus said to his disciples, let your loins be girded and your lamps burning in your hands. And you yourselves like unto men who wait for their Lord. And he shall return, when he shall return to the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, that they may open to him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord when he cometh shall find watching. Amen, I say to you that he will gird himself and make them sit down to meat, and passing will minister unto them. If he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. But this know ye, that if the householder did know at what hour the thief would come, he would surely watch, and would not suffer his house to be broken open. Be ye then also ready, for at what hour you thinketh not, the Son of Man will come. Those are the words of today's Holy Gospel. Father, and lovely Host of men, today is the feast of St. Henry, the Emperor, Pius. It says in the it says in the collect of the Mass today that Henry was not taken by the narrowness of this world, was not impressed by the narrowness of this world. O God, who on this day didst remove Blessed Henry, thy confessor, from the crown of the earthly empire to an everlasting kingdom, we humbly beseech thee that as protected by the abundance of thy grace, thou didst enable him to overcome the temptation of the world. Now that so thou make us an imitation of him, to avoid the allurements of this world, to come with pure minds unto thee. Or rather, as it says in the breviary, he was not affected, he was not impressed by the narrowness of this world, but sought after greater things. He sought after a greater kingdom. And this is a problem we have in our times. That consider the great St. Henry, and Henry the Emperor of the whole Holy Roman Empire, who died in the year 1024. And interesting, the time that he died in 1024 was a time in which the church was undergoing a corruption. Remember, at every single age, the devil is trying to destroy the church. It was shortly at this time, around this time, that St. Gregory VII came into power. And there was great wickedness all throughout the entirety of Christendom. The priests and the bishops and the church had become corrupt. And the faith had become corrupt. And evil spread throughout the entire world. And it seemed as though Gregory VII had such a great wickedness to fight against that it couldn't be overcome. But he did overcome it. And during this time, Henry, one of the great saints, many of the kings that were saints, the great German emperor, it says simply, he did not get trapped by the narrowness of this world. This is the breviary, not the collect. He was not trapped by the narrowness of this world. We have to understand that this world is narrow. And it is likened to a pit. When you dig a well, you dig a well, and you dig a well, and you dig a well, and you dig a well. In the old days, you made the well 6 feet wide, or sometimes wider than that. And the only reason they made the well that wide father, Adam Stone, was digging a well. And he was digging a well, and he collapsed in the well because he could not breathe. And his son went down into the well to try to get his father. And he couldn't get his father. He tried to pull his father and put him with a rope, but then he also suffocated because he couldn't breathe and he collapsed. And after 4 or 5 hours of not seeing anyone, the people came to the village and they saw both of them in the well. They went in and they pulled the son out first, and they pulled the father out second, and he died. He died from digging a well. And what the church tells us here, look at the problem. Henry realized this world is narrow. It's very narrow. And the more we get into the world, we're like digging a well, digging a hole, and digging a hole, and digging a hole. And the first thing that happens when you continue to dig a hole, that is, you get more into things. That's one of the great dangers of our world today. Everyone's into cell phones, they're into computers, they're into electronically operated toasters, they're into magic refrigerators, they're into cars with GPS systems in them, they're into clothes with internet on them, they're into everything is digging deeper and deeper. We can't move without a connection to something material. We can't sleep without earphones, without a TV in the room, and we're always connecting to material things. What are we doing? Forget about the sin aspect. Forget about the fact that this weakens our will and makes us easily fall into sin. Forget about the fact that it turns our minds and thoughts away from God. What does it do? Even without those two things, it suffocates us. It's like under the martyrdom of Blessed Margaret, or St. Margaret Clitheroe. The way that she was martyred, she was not the only one martyred this way. There are actually several martyrs martyred this way. But she was the first woman to be martyred in the English persecution for housing the priest. And she was a child, pregnant at the time. And they said to her, well, how is it that you were ready to give up your life to house a priest? Why is that? She said, I have one regret, that I have not 1,000 lives to give up for the priests, and have only one. They were very angry with her, and they put her to death and put a board. They put a little piece of plywood on top of her body. They took a brick, a little small brick, and put it on top of the plywood. Then they put one more brick, and one more brick, and one more brick. And over a period of several hours, they slowly added the bricks. The weight came slowly so much that it crushed her body and killed her. And just added one more brick, one more small brick, one more small brick, and it was her ticket to heaven. But when we consider the life of the world today, we're too much into material things, too much into time, and it's like digging a well, where it's like putting bricks on top of a body. Each brick is very small. But it is rather, when we add them one upon another, we eventually become suffocated. And we see this in the world today. When we look at the modern child, the modern young man in his 20s, he has mortal sin on his conscience because he is immersed in impurity. He doesn't believe in God. He is living in sin. He also doesn't even think of God because he was never taught about God. He was taught that the world is God. He was taught that we are evolving into God. He doesn't know to speak to God. And these two things are destroying him. And the third thing that's destroying him is the stuff by which he is surrounded. He's like a man going for a swim across the English Channel and carrying on his back a 100-pound bag and putting lead shoes, concrete shoes on his feet, and putting lead gloves on his hands and then going for a swim. He cannot make it. So we see in the world today, consider by this little statement of the Holy Breviary, that Henry saw the narrowness, restrictiveness, and the emptiness of being an emperor in this world. He was emperor of all Christendom. He had great power, and he did not care at all for it. When he married his wife, he made her into a saint, Saint Kunigan. And he became a saint because of being married to him. When he died in his old age, he gave back his wife inviolate and a total virgin back to the family. And they lived in perfect, they lived like monk and nun inside of their marriage life. And they lived only for God. And he only thought of the things of God, and he only thought of the things in the next life. And that made him turn into a saint. It made him realize how small being an emperor was, how small being a millionaire is, how small being successful in this world is, and how it restricts and makes us narrow. So we dig that well, and dig that well, and dig that well, and dig that well, and dig that well. And the world becomes dark all around you. And you're waiting to hit water. What is the water we're waiting to hit? We're going to hit it big and become a millionaire. We're going to hit it big and we're going to have a successful life in this world. We're just going to dig a little more materialism. Dig a little more. Dig a little more. Get another job. Get a new career. Get a new house. Get a new wife. Get a new husband. Get a new set of rules and regulations. Get a new set of beliefs. Keep digging, digging, digging. Surround yourself with swimming pools. Surround yourself with a big house. Surround yourself with whatever the world has to offer. And we can't breathe. And we can't breathe. And we can't breathe until one day the soul suffocates. Which is why if we only go to confession and we only say, Lord, save me from my sins, we will not be able to go to heaven. There is a third thing that's required. We have to realize that the things of this modern world are dangerous. The things of this modern world are little bricks that were put upon our bodies. And if we have too many of them on our bodies, we shall be crushed. If we have too many of them in our souls, we shall be crushed. And if we work too much to dig a hole, too much to dig a safe place in this world, we shall one day suffocate. Therefore, we shouldn't dig too much to find a safe place in this world, like digging a well. And we shouldn't be protected too much by the material things on the outside. These things by themselves, even without sin, even without absence of prayer, they drag our souls down. And we forget this in an age in which there is so much sin, and there is so much absence of the thought of God, that we think if I only turn away from sin, go to confession, if I only think about God, go to Mass as often as I can, then I'm fine, and I need not worry about the world dragging me down. Henry knew the world would drag him down, and he refused to be dragged down by it. And he opened his eyes, and he saw the church was being attacked in Italy. He saw the Greeks were trying to destroy the church, and he led armies. And when he went into battle, it was said, when Henry went to battle, it was as though he wasn't there. His thought was only the defense of the church. His thought was only the defense of the widows and the orphans. His thought was the defense of those that were helpless. And he would look to the front of his army, and sometimes he would see the martyrs in the front, and he would see the angels in the front fighting for his men. And the angels and the martyrs came and fought for him, and he won battles against great odds because he only fought with the thought of the souls of those in need. And he never did any action without prayer. He never did anything without kneeling down and spending many hours in prayer. His thought was prayer. The place where he considered, what am I going to do as an emperor? What am I going to do to rule my country? How am I going to make it continue in prosperity? What am I going to govern by? The thought of God, the thought of saving the Holy Church, the thought of saving the widows and the orphans, and the thought of the emptiness and worthlessness of living for any kind of gain in this world. Then he became a saint. And we have to recognize in our present times, this thought is not even amongst the priests. This thought is not amongst the followers of God. It's not there. That thought is not there. And we have to make sure that it is. But look at the present temptation, which can be considered in this way of materialism, of Bishop Fillet. The temptation of the Society of St. Pius X, down the last 15 years especially. We want to be recognized as Catholics. We have the right to be recognized as Catholics. We want to be recognized as good members and good citizens citizens of the Holy Church. And we have a right to be recognized by modernist Rome. And we want to stand up for our rights. This is Bishop Fillet speaking. This is Father Nelly speaking. Does it sound familiar? Go out in the streets, and you will find the women stand up and say, I want my rights. I'm standing up for my rights. I'm not going to obey any man. I have my rights. And go to the children. The children say, I want my rights. I'm going to stand up for my rights. I don't have to obey you. I have my rights. And go to everyone in the world. They're standing up for their rights. What kind of a world is that? A world in which everyone stands up for their rights. This is the world of Satan. It is a world of materialism. It is a world of selfishness. It is a world of the kingdom spoken of by St. Augustine when he said, two loves built two cities. The city of the love of self. When I stand up for my rights, my right to be recognized as a Catholic, driving by the church in Post Falls today, drove a little drive by the church, seeing people going in. Once I had a right to say Mass in that church. I was stationed here. Once I had a right to walk into that church and not be executed. Once I had a right to preach sermons in that church. Once I had a right to teach in that school. And I taught in that school. And I said Mass in that church. And I heard confessions in that church. And the little porta potty confessionals on the side. Freeze in the wintertime. So the wind comes right underneath and freezes out the priest in the wintertime. But the fact is, I don't have that right anymore. I don't have that right anymore. And Father Giselle walked into that church where he was also stationed in 2012. One of the local priests here, Father Hano, said, Father Giselle and Pfeiffer, go and see Father Rostad. He's visiting. He's the nicest priest I've ever seen. He's the kindest priest I've ever had. So we went in, walked into church, say a prayer back to church while I was meeting with someone. Father Rostad walked back to church, says, you can't be here. I can call the police and throw you out. And so it was welcomed in such a manner and thrown out, kneeling in the back of the church. Is it important for us to fight for our rights? If that was the case, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords should have been our example. And the King of Kings and Lord of Lords should have come down to this earth and fought for his rights. He did not. The King of Kings and Lord of Lords said, it is my will to go to the cross. It is my will to go to death. I lay down my life, and I will take it up again. And no one lays it down for me. No one takes it from me. I have chosen that when I am 33 years old, I shall die. I have chosen that after 3 days in the tomb, I shall rise. No one shall change my schedule. And I shall conquer Satan, and I shall rule through my own death. This is the way that the alter Christus must also rule. It is the way that another Christ rules, the follower of Christ, who is the priest of God, the minister of God. It is the way that the members of Christ rule, those that are baptized. How do we rule? How do we conquer? How do we establish our faith in every land, including the United States of America? It is by the blood of martyrs. By the blood of martyrs. The first martyr in this country, he made it all the way to Colorado. I'm forgetting his name, Father. He made it all the way to Colorado. He landed in Mexico, a priest. He went all the way to Colorado and was martyred by the Indians in Colorado, right in the middle of the country. He was martyred. We don't allow a shrine. I'm forgetting his name now. Now we're going to allow a shrine. First martyr, 1520 or 1525, before Our Lady of Guadalupe, 1531. The first martyr. And many, many martyrs. Martyrs in Florida. Martyrs all out of the South United States, killed by the English for their faith. Martyrs down the ages, 1840s. It is when Catholics shed their blood. And Catholics willing to die, either the blood of martyrdom or the dry martyrdom of persecution. It is a fact that in the United States of America, in the last 300 years, if if you are a Catholic, even if you're a bad Catholic, unless you become a Mason, unless you abandon the true religion, unless you turn fully to the wickedness of Satan, you cannot climb the power in our country. There is a glass ceiling which no Catholic can pass. This is a form of persecution. And whatever good has come of the faith in our church, in our land, in America, it is from those who have not stood up for their rights, but for the rights of God, who have spread the kingdom of Christ, not their own kingdom. This is where the glory is. And the grave sin that is behind the movement within the Society of St. Pius X of the good priests. There are the wicked ones who work for Satan. There are the wicked ones that are Masonic infiltrators. It is most certain that there is an AA 1025 in the SSPX, and probably more than one. Well, who they are, we don't know. But these ones can cause minimal harm. The ones that cause the great harm are those that are not communist infiltrators, but are simply out for their own rights, for their own comfort. And so the Society of St. Pius X in the last 20 years, notice the construction. Even here, they constructed a priory. We construct another priory. We construct another priory. We have another priory and another priory. Comfortable homes for the priests, but not constructing churches, churches, and churches. The emphasis is switched because the priests have to stand up for their rights, and the faithful, imitating the priest, must stand up for their rights. And so we tell the local Nova local fraternity of St. Peter, we want to be recognized. We want to be approved. We have a right to be approved. We must understand the conciliar church is the church of Satan. Whoever belongs to the church of God has no right to be approved by the leaders of the church of Satan. Nor should he have any desire to be approved by the leaders of the church of Satan. One of the problems here, that we want our own comfort, that St. Henry says, no, I'm not into this world for my own comforts. He did not put his treasure, his promise, his trust in gold. He did not put his trust in money. He did not put his trust in treasures. And therefore we accomplish the most wonderful things. And it must be that way with us. Yes, there is sin. Yes, there is a turning away from God. Underneath it all, what sacred scripture says, the love of money is the root of all evil. Underneath it all, there's some kind of a desire for comfort. Underneath it all, there's some kind of a desire for a place where I can function comfortably in my own kingdom. And this is where Satan enters the soul. When a soul sells itself to Satan, there's always a deal. What's the deal? 40 years of reign. Queen Elizabeth, now burning in hell. Money, wealth. Many of the Hollywood actors and actresses, many of the movie stars, many of the music stars, they have admitted they received their fame after they sold their soul to Satan. And then they got their brief fame, and they end their lives in despair. But why did they sell their souls to Satan? For some kind of comfort in this world. What was the trouble? They wanted heaven on earth. What was the trouble? They thought that this world was the only place of happiness. And therefore they turned to Satan. And why did they turn to Satan? Because God says happiness is in heaven. God says we're only traveling for a temporary time on this earth to prepare for heaven. And so we have to recognize, as part of our fight to persevere in the faith, part of our fight to spread the kingdom of Christ against modernism and all the modern heresies, part of our fight, do not be too attached to this world. Do not be too attached to the opinions of men. Do not be too attached and too desirous of a comfortable and safe place. If we try to build a comfortable and safe place, it is in that place the devil will come one day. And he will say, do you want to keep your comfortable place? Do you want to keep your safe place? All you friend of Satan. We don't want to lose that comfortable and safe place. God of the society, the devil of the society build a certain amount of stability. And then it says, you want to keep it? You need to make a deal with Rome. You want to keep it? You need to be not so harsh against modernism in the modern world. You want to keep it? You need to not follow arches of the faith too perfectly and too closely. You want to keep it? You need to focus on your own rights. Your right to be recognized because you were unjustly treated by Rome. And don't focus on the rights of God. Don't focus on spreading the kingdom of Christ. Don't focus on bringing all souls to God. Focus on your own right. And after you're approved, and after you're legalized, and after you're secure, then you can say, see, I'm secure. Follow me. I'm safe. Come to my house. This is the deception of the devil. And the deception has its power because we are too materialistic, and has its power because we consider too much. Digging a safe place, digging a foxhole in this world. But we keep digging. And we keep digging. And one day we can't see the light anymore. And we keep digging and we keep digging. We lose energy because of lack of oxygen. And we keep digging and we stop breathing. And we collapse and we die. This is the cause of death for so many souls in tradition. The cause of death for priests. The other two causes are also there. Not praying to God and sin. But we cannot forget the third cause, which is mentioned by the saints over and over again. Over the last 2,000 years since Christ came, and the 4,000 years before that. Be not too immersed in the things of the world, and realize that materialism and the love of the world will destroy the soul and drag it down. We have to fight against it, lest we be sunk into the vortex of the kingdom of hell. Those who bless you all, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.